Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to the Heart of Home. This is where creativity meets comfort and where I share my journey of turning our house into a home. From DIY home improvements to cozy decorating, painting furniture, and transforming spaces. Here you'll find inspiration to slow down, get creative, and make every corner feel warm, personal, and full of heart. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's start creating together right here at the Heart of Home. Every home project starts with a simple idea, a spark of inspiration. For this first chapter, we're adding warmth and function to the heart of our kitchen with under and over cabinet lighting from Armacost Lighting. These Ribbon Flex Luxe LED tape lights are easy to install, beautifully bright, and instantly make the space feel elevated and cozy. There are a dozen different ways that you can install cabinet lighting, from hardwired systems to complicated controllers and even smart home setups. But today I wanted to show you a version that anyone can do. No electrician's license and no fancy tools required. To begin, I located a convenient power source behind the fridge. I used command strips to adhere my power supply to the wall. This allows me to plug in the power supply without drilling any holes, keeping everything neat and tidy. Using a damp cloth, I prepared my surface before adhering the lights. Measure the length of your cabinets and cut in the middle of the copper pads. Now that our LED tape is in place, it's time to connect our tape-to-tape connectors. Carefully align the connectors on the tape with the wire terminals, ensuring that the polarity matches. Press them firmly to secure the connection. With everything connected, it's time to power on the lights. While one strip of lights is plenty bright, I opted for extra brightness and chose to do 2 rows on every cabinet. At the end of my second row, I am using a 5-pin 48-inch chip-on board Sherlock tape-to-wire connector to drop my wire back down for the underside of the cabinet. I highly recommend these 5-pin wire-to-wire connectors. They are such a time saver. Next, I use cable hiders to keep my cords neatly tucked along the underside of the cabinet. I will have all the supplies that I used for this project linked in the description of this video. Now that my cables are tucked away nicely, I am using a 5-pin wire-to-wire connector to attach a spliced tape-to-tape connector to use for my next run of lights. After connecting a new section of lights, I like to test the power every time to make sure it's working properly. Here I am measuring out my length of lights, finding the closest copper pad, cutting in the middle, and then measuring my wire for my next row of lights. I used more of the cable hiders to keep all of my cords nicely tucked against the bottom of my cabinets. I went with a slightly larger cable hider to drop down and along my backsplash to get to the next set of cabinets. This pack came with these nice corner pieces. Next, I fed my 18-AUG wires down between the cabinets and the wall. Using a pair of wire strippers, I stripped the end of each wire. Then I twist the ends to keep them from getting frayed. Then I cut 5 pieces of heat shrink tubing. I'm using this heat shrink tubing in lieu of the 5-pin wire-to-wire connectors because they have to be able to fit in the cable hider. Next, I'm taking my handy dandy heat tool and pulling that heat shrink tubing over my exposed wires and heating it up. Then I finish marking and cutting my cable hiders to size to finish off this section of the kitchen. Starting on the left side of my kitchen, I identify the power source and run the plug along the gap between the wall and the cabinets before plugging it in. After testing the lights, I unplug it and then I start the process of again measuring, cutting, attaching wires, running cable hiders, and doing this whole process on this side of the kitchen. Because I have staggered upper cabinets, I need to carefully route my wires. To do this, I'm using a spade bit to drill through the crown molding, allowing me to run the wires neatly up the sides and into the top cabinet. This ensures a clean and professional look, keeping everything hidden and organized. Upon finishing the upper cabinets, I test the lights before dropping them back down to finish the bottom. The further I get into the project, the quicker everything becomes, connecting wires, adding light strips, running cables, and installing the cable hiders. Now that both lighting kits are installed, I'm going to pair them so they can run off the same remote. It's actually super simple. First, I unplug the power from the kit I want to pair, then I plug it back in, and within 5 seconds, I hold down the on button and the brightness up button on the remote at the same time. You'll see the lights blink a few times. That means the pairing worked. Now both of my kits respond to one remote, so everything stays synced and I don't have to juggle different controllers. And that wraps up my first project here at the Heart of Home. One of the reasons I love working with Armacost Lighting is that they are a woman-founded, US-based company that creates a huge range of lighting options for both DIYers and professionals. Their Ribbon Flex Luxe Continuous Multicolor Plus White kit truly gives you the best of both worlds, a clean, non-yellow, warm white for those cloudy mornings, and a full spectrum of colors to match the vibe on those fun, energy-filled nights. I'm honestly so happy with how this turned out, and I hope this walkthrough helps you feel confident tackling your own lighting project.